Welcome back to Live Wire. I'm still completely fazed by that guy. It was amazing, the memory man, Jonathan Hancock. With me now is another amazing person, our pet psychologist, Peter Neville. Peter, we've got a film coming up in a minute about abandoned dogs, because it's a problem, isn't it, after Christmas?
Yeah,
why don't people learn the message?
I don't know. I really don't know why people keep doing it year in, year out, but they do.
Because there's all these adverts, there's all this stuff shoved as it, don't do it unless you're serious.
Yeah, I mean, you know, there are plenty of responsible people around who don't, plenty of responsible breeders who won't let you take puppies or kittens or anything, but there are always a few on the make, you know. Such a shame. I
mean, have you got any idea of how many are abandoned?
Over Christmas?
Yeah.
No, but we do know that the rates go up across the country, and we do know that the rescue homes have a hard time immediately after the new year.
I mean, what is it? Why is there still this great seduction about having a dog? I mean, I personally quite like one like this.
Well, I mean, this is the thing, you know, it's cuddly toys, isn't it? People have this cuddly toy image. I think to some extent it's a consequence of being urbanised, that very few people now in cities grow up around animals. Perhaps they're waiting a bit longer until their mum and dad says they can have an animal. If it's a child, or perhaps till they get themselves into a position where they've got enough money and enough space to take on a cat or a dog, and then rush out, and they haven't, you know, they're the second generation without a pet, if you like, whereas, you know, people like me who grew up with animals around, or have grown up in a country environment, have perhaps more empathy for the animal and therefore are aware of what they're doing to it when they bring it in.
I mean, what are some of the worst stories that you've heard? I mean, you must have seen some pretty dreadful states
too. They're just too horrible. I mean, you know, the dogs chucked out of the backs of cars on motorways, you know, dogs burnt with cigarettes. I mean, all sorts of just horrendous things, cats in plastic bags in bins. I mean, you know, it almost defies imagination. Yeah, I mean, it is sick. I mean,
it's one thing to abandon a dog near a dog's home, maybe, than to chuck it out the back of a car.
Well, you know, there are plenty of animal homes. If you do get yourself into that position, you know, for one reason or another, you know, perhaps some, you know, relatives die, dogs and cats need to be looked after, circumstances change, you might find yourself out of work, or council slaps a new order on the apartment, says you can't have your pets anymore. I mean, there are all sorts of things that go wrong without being foreseen, and the rescue homes do a good job in taking nice animals and finding new homes. But it does defy the imagination as to why people do
absolutely behave like that. Is awful, isn't
human nature, you know.
Well, I know there's nothing quite so bizarre, is there?
Child cruelty, it's all around us. You know.
But what advice would you give to somebody who wanted to take, I mean, a dog we're talking about particularly, somebody who thought, well, yes, I'd like to have a dog. I mean, what advice would you give to them?
I think the first thing is get third-party advice. I mean, you know, sit down as a family and decide who's going to be doing what sort of size of dog, what sort of hairiness of dog.
Because that's quite important, isn't it?
Very important. Little puppies grow into big dogs if you're not careful. Where's he going to sleep? Who's going to be doing the job? Is it just going to be left to mum, like it so often is? Dogs are for life. They're going to live 12, 15, 16 years, cats even longer. It's not just something that you can buy and play with for 10 minutes and then get away. They need to enjoy their lives. So all these things must be considered. And I think when you've done that as a family, then go off and get a third-party view. Talk to your vet. You know, it's worth paying for his time. I was about to say, because also the vet, you've got a lot of expense coming up too, haven't you, with jabs and stuff? Well, I always wave the flag and say vets aren't half as expensive as they ought to be. But, yeah, I mean, there are expenses. There's food and there's leads and there's equipment and all the rest of it, and bedding and all that sort of stuff. But if you get a third-party opinion from a pet behaviourist, from a vet, and take their advice about which sort of animal is going to suit you. And if you're going to go for a pedigree animal, then go and speak to a few breeders, go to a dog show or a cat show and have a chat. And really think about, I mean, one of the best bits of advice we were giving before Christmas was to say, OK, you know, your kids have pressured you, you're going to get a dog, get all the stuff that goes with it for Christmas and get the dog afterwards, you know.
That's a good idea,
Don't introduce it, then all the excitement's there, the excitement lingers on into the new year, and then you go off and get your little bundle of fluff.
Well, we'll be talking more about that because, as we said, Christmas is traditionally the time when admissions to pet refuges and animal centres all over the country increase dramatically. We sent Steve Jones, who's one of our hard-hearted reporters, down to the Bristol Dogs and Cats Home, where Lindsay Smith told him why and what you can do about it.
day. We've also got rabbits, rats, gerbils, hamsters, guinea pigs, birds, anything really that's stray.
Right, and you also have cats here as well, don't you?
Yeah, we do.
How many cats have you got?
I don't know, about 40, I guess.
And what are your approximate numbers on the other animals?
We've got about 12 rabbit hutches, an aviary full of budgies. And just with money, we just take them as they come in, really. You have to find space for them.
So what happens then? Why do people decide they don't want a pet?
Normally it's either mess around the house and they can't house train it, it's grown too big, they just don't want it, there's marriage breakups, neither of them want the dog. Any reason really, anything they can think of. Sometimes if they like bitten the child, they might only just snapped, like in play, but they get panic and bring it down here.
So over Christmas this year, how many approximately did you have in?
Since Christmas Day I've had in about 40, and that's not counting today's dogs.
How easy is it for someone to adopt a pet from a local pet refuge?
It's fairly easy. We ask a strict lot of questions. As soon as they come in, they choose a dog they like, and we ask them whether it's their own house, whether it's rented, whether the garden's all fenced in, make sure there's someone home during the day, because that's when little problems can happen, and there's somebody out at work all the time. We ask the whole family to come in, so everyone sees a dog to make sure everybody likes it, and then we do a home visit as well.
And how long does all that take normally?
Well, they come in to choose it. Before they can even take it from us, it has to be spayed or neutered anyway. So they're looking at way over a week. But if they really want it, they'll be prepared to wait. And it weans out the people that don't really want it and just come down on a whim. By the time they've had to wait, they've had time to think about it and they can cancel. It's £15 for a cat, £30 for a dog, and it's £40 for a dog if you have it spayed or neutered, which we do here.
So is that the main source of income for the Bristol Dogs?
No, we also rely on a lot of donations. We have a lot of food coming over Christmas, and if anyone's got some shredded paper, it'd be most appreciated if we could have it, because we put it on the floor for all the puppies, and we've run out and we're overrun with puppies. I haven't got any. Right. Please.
Well, it really tugs at the heartstrings, that, doesn't it?
Much,
It really does.
And there they all are, just waiting for somebody like you to...
Yes, to take them home and love them. This is Peter Neville, pet psychologist. If you've got any calls or any questions that you want to ask him, ring us on 0272 297766, 0272 297766. We'll call you back, and then you can put your question to Peter.